What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Typing When Tipsy. I am your host, Nicole Mancha, and I am joined by my guest and also my co-host for my other show, Murder, Mysteries, and More, Alex Mercado.
Basically, the boss is in town, folks. The boss is finally here. Typing while drunk.
This is why we don't invite you here very
This is
often.
why I'm not on your show only one time
Yes.
so far in like the last year and a half.
No, I think this is your second time, isn't it?
This is my second time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I only got invited once, and I didn't get an invite after that.
You kind of wore out your
Probably
welcome
should
with
stop
that
throwing my
one.
relationship out there in the open, huh?
I know.
Be honest, guys. I got a lot of flack for it, but I'm like, hey, I got listens though, so I'll take the listens. I guess.
You did.
So,
you became popular for a reason.
maybe for the wrong reasons, but hey, listen to listen.
So I invited you back because I wanted to talk about a few things, mostly because I know your dedication to the gym and your job and all of that stuff, and talk about New Year's and resolutions and relationships and all of that fun shit that happens in 2019 when you're going to be the best fucking version of yourself.
I hope so, because it's got to happen eventually, right? I keep saying it, but it never happens.
Well, it seems like everyone gets so wrapped up in this idea of New Year's resolutions, right? Like, everyone's like, I'm going to lose 25 pounds in the first month. I'm going to find a great person to spend Valentine's Day with because it comes like right around the corner. And the second we hit January, everyone's freaking out because February 14th is like 44 days away. So it's like, holy crap, what am I going to do? I need somebody for this. And then the slew of other things that come in there.
Especially after the holiday. Like, we were all joking around with it. Like, holidays are such a warm feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
So you're there sitting, you're like, especially it's an awkward spot before Valentine's Day where you're like, should I settle down? Should I do this? Like, is it time for me to do this? Or if you're in a relationship, should I commit more to that relationship? Or should we take the next step? Or is this relationship not working? And should I end it now? It's like, it's always that makes you think holiday.
Yeah.
And then what the problem is, once Valentine's Day is over,
then reality
life just kind of, it's just life, yeah.
Well, and like I was thinking a lot about that too because I mean you see like 1,000 engagements and stuff over the holidays, and I think a lot of it is because you're going home to see family that you may not see all the time. But I think some of it is that too, like you're really thinking like, what should I be doing with the rest of my life? And maybe this is the right thing to do around Christmas with all of these witnesses.
I mean, if the Grinch could find love, I think I can too.
But is it something that bothers you while you're going through the holiday, or is it something that more bothers you like when you're by yourself and kind of like stewing?
I think it's more of a stewing thing. Like, I don't think it bothers me necessarily when I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
But it's maybe when you're at 3 a.m. laying in bed watching a Christmas movie
And
or
everyone's in love on Hallmark.
Maybe you're seeing exactly, or maybe you're seeing, or like in your case, I have you two. You know, like I'm Mike and the Booth, like that are together. I got my parents, my grandparents.
We're not a good example.
Okay, as bad as it is love still. Like, you know, it's you start feeling it more then of like, man, you're like, I'm really alone, and it's like you choose to do that,
right?
But then you started second guessing it, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, because you don't want just the holiday goggles to kind of take you over.
Yeah.
Because is it less sincere? Is it more sincere? Is it just timing?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard. You kind of want to give yourself time after to be like, okay, maybe this is what I really want. And if you feel the same a week later, then I think it's more like, okay, this is real. I feel the same way. Instead of just Christmas Day, I felt it. December 26th, let's go to the gym. I'm ready to go.
Do you think that there's a pressure to not having a relationship at your age? Because you're starting to get to that weird age, right? Like where people maybe are asking more about what you're doing and like what your goals are and what your future plans are and things like that. Because like breaking that wall, like you're hitting the mid to late 20s now.
It's getting there. Like I'm gonna be. How old am I gonna be? 27.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna be 27 in like 6 months. In our family, it's kind of a running joke with me. I think by now.
Yeah.
I think we can like acknowledge that Alex is very. I'm gonna say Brenda 2.0. Love Brenda, but like people kind of expect different things from me, and I guess it's more of a self-reflection of like I don't necessarily want to live my lifestyle like that anymore.
Yeah.
You get older, it's tired. Like a fighter can only fight for so long before he's like, I'm tired. Like I don't necessarily want to do this much more long.
So do you feel like the pressure is more of a self-pressure?
I think it is more of a self-pressure, especially in my case specifically.
Yeah.
I could see in like a like Alex case where like, yeah, it is pride pressure if you're the only sibling, not in a relationship, if you're not doing this. In my case, I think it's more of a self-pressure that I'm like, well, you've had your fun, kid. Maybe it's time to throw in the hat. You know, I've had the greatest career ever, do the retirement speech, and settle down finally. But that's more of a self-reflection. I don't feel that pressure from anyone, honestly.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least you don't have that pressure like
it's not
outside.
like you and kids, you know?
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that seems to be more of an upcoming topic in my life.
See, you're getting, I mean, that's like same to you, though. Like, my relationship, you and Mike are more, well, when's marriage? Well, when are kids coming? Well, we've seen you around the last, 3 years. Like, isn't it time we do something about it?
I know. This is our 4th Christmas together, and it'll be our 4th New Year's.
I got a feeling that we're not getting rid of you, Nicole.
I know.
I got a strong feeling deep down that you're here to
feeling.
stay. Like, you're not going anywhere, but it's kind of upsetting me.
The mistake Mike couldn't get rid of.
It's still good. And it's gone.
So I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about New Year's resolutions, because it seems like people get super freaking crazy when it comes to it. And like, you're a very dedicated gym person. I also think that you need that kind of stability and structure, though, in your life. Just like mentally, you don't function right without it, because you have all this. You have like, and it's bizarre to me because you could sleep for literally 24 hours straight. But you have this bizarre energy where you need to exert it, because if you don't, it comes out in like almost a negative fashion.
Yeah. No, agreed.
So do you think that it's like, first of all, is it super annoying in January when there's like 1,000 other people at the gym?
I guess not. Well, I think back to the first part you said. I think you and me are very similar in a sense of like, we're very goal-oriented the whole year.
Yeah.
So New Year's doesn't change much for you and me, because like that's how we are every month. We have our boards, our planners, like we're pretty much like that. Yes, it does get a little annoying in January when there's a lot of people. Luckily, they go away after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember when we were younger, and you know, before I had a car, before when the gym would close down, before I found out 24/7 gyms.
Yeah.
You know, you could ask Mike. I was a very aggressive child, especially at like 19 and 20, where if I didn't go to the gym after like 3 days, like I was in that house throwing tables.
Yeah.
Like throwing a fit. So I think you're right where I do need to, like, I'm lucky. I control, like, if I need to sleep, I'll sleep. But I do need to exert some energy, and that's why I like being at the gym, and that's why I found an outlet there. Goal-wise, I think it's pretty much the same every month. Like, just get in, do your job.
Yeah.
I have a physical job. I coach kids. I put kids up. I flip, like, you know, gymnastics sort of stuff. So I need to do that kind of stuff.
And now talking about the gym, because, like, I know it's like your pride and joy, and you like take so much joy in just your job, which I don't think everybody has. So it's something to just be proud of in general. But do you have any personal goals, like career wise this year? Because I try to stay away from like working out goals. Like sometimes it'll be like, I'd like to go 4 times a week instead of 3, but like I'm in grad school, I go to work, I have all these things. So it's like trying to fit that time in. It's not always feasible because our gym here has really strict hours. So it's like, and I'm not paying for a membership.
Exactly.
I have a gym. Like there's no reason for it.
I agree.
So I'm like, we have strict hours. So there have been times where I just miss the time. Like I'm working too early and I'm working too late, or I'm doing something and it's just, I miss the time and I'm screwed. So like I try to do stuff like that, or like I want to eat, I don't want to eat pizza 3 times a week, which
is you're crazy for.
Sorry, blasphemy in this house, I know. But like there are things that I try and cut out in general, but I try to goal orient myself in different ways. Like I want to write 2 more chapters of my book, or I want to edit this, or I want to do this. Like I try to make it more of career goals opposed to health goals, because I think those get really muddled and people tend to forget about those.
I agree, because like health goals to me, like I'm pretty consistent about my health goals. Like I've eaten better the last few months. I work out consistently. Like I think I'm with you where it's clear. Like one with the Good Brothers, I try to watch more movies because we're about to do a lot of Oscar coverage and the big blockbusters came out. So I try to really push for that so Mike doesn't have to, because Mike's busy with his interviews and stuff, and you have your show. So I think that's kind of my baby where I run away with more of the reviews. And then when it comes to the gym, it's, luckily my team did very well to start the season. So now we're kind of just waiting.
Yeah.
And that one's more of start building up more of a less physical aspect of work and more of a mental, more of a managerial sort of thing. Which is more like now you're going to meetings, now you're going to district things, now you're more talking, you're more being social than necessarily living off the physical. Because I've lived off work in the physical aspect, being good in that aspect. And now the older I get, the more they're kind of taking me under the wing of like, okay, now you need to go to the meetings, now you need to do the studying, now you need to learn these rules, and you need to learn the politics of it. So I think that's more the goal this year is for both those things is like take the next step is more of a, I guess an adult, I would say. Yeah. Because I've kind of lived off just, he's a big guy who's really good at what he did. Yeah. And when you become a coach, you're more like, okay, now I need you to learn the stuff you never wanted to. Like, you do need to learn to talk to these authoritative figures, and you need to learn this paperwork, and you need to learn the lingo and the style of it.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
To award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
And is it something that when you kind of started to move in that direction, or when they've kind of moved you in that direction, were you comfortable, or were you automatically like, I have to figure out how I'm going to function here because this is not a arena that I'm, not that you're not comfortable being in, but that you weren't necessarily planning on being in? Because you're like my big kid, like you just want to have fun and you want to have a good time, but when you're doing your job, you're doing a really good job. But this is very different. It's something that's, there's a different set of eyes looking at you, like not just coaching eyes.
No, I mean, you're completely right. It wasn't that it was hard. It's different. Yeah. And you know me very well where I'm really good at what I did. So the fact that someone said, okay, I know you're good at what you did, you need to learn something else. Yeah. And to not be, you're never going to be perfect at something you just start. There's nothing. Like, as much of a natural as you can be, there's a learning curve. You have to learn. So I think the first few months, especially this season, was very like, I know everything I don't want to learn. No, I'm already good at my job. I don't need to learn more. And just the last like 5 months, people have started to see notice like, okay, he's making the effort. Like he's starting to get it. Like I'm starting to roll with it a little better.
Yeah.
And now I'm more comfortable doing all that. But at first, no, it was very tough to adjust to like, it's like a player. If you retire from being an athlete, then going to a coach, like it's very hard because you're like, that doesn't necessarily mean just because I was a good athlete doesn't mean I'm automatically going to be a coach. Like I have to kind of go back to square one and relearn everything. And people I thought I was better at in this case, well, they're better at me than this case, and I have to learn from them. And now I'm comfortable with it, but at first it was very much like stubborn Alex of, I don't want to learn that. Like, I already know everything. Like, I should just be able to change my title and not learn anything new.
Right. Because it's jarring when someone's asking you, and you've been in this arena for so long that you're like, I already know this stuff. And they're like, no, we get that you know it, but you don't know it the way you need to know it because you now need to look at it not just being the kid coach. You now need to look at it as you're an adult. You want to move into a managerial role because you want to have a future. Because the reality is that it is a very physical job, and there will be a day where you can't do that.
Exactly. And like, so in my case, it's like, it's learning rules or it's learning your score sheet. And it's a lot of 0.0s, 0.1s, and watching other people in your field. So, at first they would ask me these questions and I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I already taught them that. And it's funny how fast 6 months goes. Like, my boss just told me the other day, like, I know my score sheets now. Like, I can pop out numbers like it's nothing. You're like, how'd you do it that comp 3 weeks ago? Oh, we got a 93.65 in this. The other team got a 92.6. And the difference is this. And the comments are this. And how it made me feel good how impressed he was of like, okay, he's starting to get it. Like, he's learning the stuff he needs to learn. It's not just, I'm glad he's strong. He can put these kids up and he's good with the kids. Yeah. He's learning the numbers. He's learning that stuff. He's learning to be a little more political and, really talk to people and watch these videos. Like, I used to, I don't know how it is with you, I guess because we all have different careers, but I guess in podcasts where I'm like, we don't all love to listen to ourselves. We have to, though. Yeah. Like, you have to. And that's something at first I wouldn't do. And Mike got on me about, and I do a little bit more. I'll be honest, I don't do it all the time, but I do it a lot more if he tells me to. Same with work. It was like, okay, you need to watch this. You need to watch the seminar for an hour and a half about them talking about stupid rules. I don't want to do that. Well, I know you don't want to do it, but you need to do it because I need to ask you questions about it.
Right. It's so interesting you say that because I've always, I have Mike send me the links most of the time to our podcast before he even posts them. I won't ask him if it's something that I'm not happy with because I don't want to hear myself talking. It bothers me. It's hard. It really gets under my skin. Yeah. And I'm good with listening to a lot of stuff, but then if I just wasn't happy with it, the thing is I'm not going to make you guys come back in and re-record because it'll probably be 3 or 4 times because I'm so irritated with myself. Exactly. It's never anything that you guys do. It's always something that I've done to piss myself off, and I'm just not in the headspace for it.
I can listen, I'll listen to Typing and Tipsy. I listen to Mike's interviews.
Oh, you listen to my
But I don't. But I can't listen to the Good Brothers,
right?
Because that's us. I had that conversation, and knowing me and Mike, we're having that conversation 3 weeks ahead of time. That we've been having that conversation about what Spider-Man's the best Spider-Man. Yeah. So to have to go back and listen to it is rough sometimes. But I can listen if I'm not involved. Like hearing you and Mike when you guys used to do pizza night, I'm like, that was entertaining. Because I'm not involved in that to begin. Yeah. So it's all new to me. And you're the same way. It's I'm not saying I don't like the topics or we're not doing a good job. It's just people don't understand sometimes that aren't in our industry of it is hard to hear your voice after you talk for 45 minutes to redo it for 45 minutes. So Mike's the unsung hero. He has to listen to it all. I know. And that sucks.
Several times.
I know he doesn't want to hear my voice. And especially if we got an argument in the show or if you got an argument with him in the show, now he has to go back and listen to that argument to make sure it sounds like a good argument. So that seems like a lot.
It's it's funny because when you say that, when he has to listen back to those arguments, it's because I know that he hears things that we don't even hear, and it's the weird things. There are times when I've gotten irritated and there's a festering happening, and obviously there's no noise with that. But when he's rewatching it, he knows she was pissed in this moment because the tension and the wording and the choices in wording, I'm sure, change. And how uncomfortable that can be when you're listening to something that was so uncomfortable in the moment. It's you relive those moments.
I think it's funny when I see him writing stuff down. Because it's have you ever seen that bit? Everyone does the bit in the show where they're at the therapist and the therapist is what are you writing down? Hey, what are you writing down over there? Don't write that down. And I'll be sitting here wait, what did you just write down?
Right.
Wait, are you editing me? And you don't want to break the law or like we don't have to re-record a million things. But I know you see it too. Like, what's your writing over there?
I know, and it really irritates me when it's like he kind of like moves back a little bit in his chair and starts writing because I'm like, it makes me feel. I
feel judged.
Yes,
I feel judged.
Like he's hiding something.
Even though it's just like, get more pizza. It's a picture of a starship.
It's like
it's a lightsaber. And Tim is a Jedi.
Mogi is bad boy.
He's he's
not actually he's not actually writing anything about us. He's just trying to make us more self-conscious, so we stop cursing all the time.
I'm gonna look. It's like a little doodle picture of him just dressed as a Jedi fighting Darth Vader. Has nothing to do with the show. He doesn't draw that great.
That's okay though. He has other skills in life, like editing our show.
Exactly.
So if you had to choose for 2019 one personal and one professional goal, what would it be?
I think personal is that's tough.
I
think settle down. I think and not just in a relationship. I think we're gonna get beyond that. Just in life in general. I'm very. The jokes are on the family. Alex is very loose and goose. Like Alex likes to party. Alex likes to go out. Alex likes to be out for 24 hours straight and then sleep for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
But I don't miss work. And I think that's getting to the point of I'm glad I can make it work, but I don't.
You don't want to
I think I'm getting, now I'm I can do something else with that time.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. And professional, I think it's the same thing. Just, like I said earlier, more of
find your niche.
Less physical. Eventually, like you said, you're not going to have your body like that forever. It can look good. And you can be fit till you're 70. We're not saying that. We're saying, it still takes a toll.
Right. Do you want to do it for the rest of
I don't
your
want
life?
to destroy my body. Just because it looks good doesn't mean I want to destroy the inside. I'd rather have it forever and it look fine.
Right.
Instead of just break the bones down little by little.
Yeah. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And like you said with the settling down, I think that was a really important piece that you added in there. Not just it's not about getting into a relationship and settling down. It's more about deciding what you want to do and angling yourself in that direction to get yourself ready to be in a position where you feel comfortable enough with yourself and your own goals and your own life setup that when someone comes in there, they're adding to it opposed to taking away from it. It's an equal partnership.
Yeah, that's an add-on. I don't necessarily want to build the whole thing off that.
Right.
And I think that's what some people make the mistake. They build it off a relationship, and it's no, that should be a bonus.
Right.
You really should settle your own life. Just you're settling your life.
Right. There should be somebody when you're already bringing up that you bring each other up because you're already at a place where you both are working towards those wonderful goals that you had in your life. And that also means not living in our basement because that's a fear.
I wish you guys had a basement. That would be so much fun. I still think we're all going to live together at one point.
Horrifyingly, I do too.
When we move to LA and we have to buy a 2-bedroom, it's going to be amazing.
Horrifyingly, I can foresee you living in our house.
Yeah. No,
far to the future.
No, I can see it.
Well, thank you so much for joining Typing When Tipsy today.
We're all drunk, yes.
Yeah. Well, not today.
We're changing the name.
Not today.
Yeah, we're kind of sober for this episode. We should have took more shots.
That's because we were drinking last night.
We were drinking. I don't know what jungle juice you made, but it
Wasn't
was
it
not
delicious?
juice. It wasn't juice at all.
No, I told them it was shots. Nobody was listening to me. I'm like, this is straight liquor.
No, it was straight liquor. That looks red.
But because from the berries, it helps take the bitter off of it. But
it did not help
still...
that much. I don't know what you're talking about. You
might
as well swig off the bottle, honestly, at that point.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. I'm super excited, and I promise I will have you back again.
You better. What are we going to talk about next time? Something more sexy?
I don't know. Mike gets very uncomfortable when we talk about stuff like that. I see him inwardly cringing.
That's fine. It's my passion to make him uncomfortable.
Well, it's your passion to do something. That's how we're getting into that mess.
Boom.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Alex. I hope you enjoyed being on Typing When Tipsy.
Always.
Next time we will actually have alcohol, and it will be wonderful.
Oh my God, we should do a drunk episode. That's the future.
Okay, so this is what I've been pushing for, is for Patreon to do drunk dives and to get really fucking hammered and talk about shit.
I like that. I say we do it.
Awesome.
We'll learn to do the board eventually, so Mike doesn't have to be involved.
Well, not when we're drunk. That's just asking for issues.
That makes it more fun.
You can only hear me.
We're not going to post the episode. Sorry, people. It's uncoherent, actually. And we cannot put it out there.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode of Typing When Tipsy. I am so excited to talk to you more in 2019.
Boom, boom, boom.
Have a good night.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.